a Cinemod version of the iconic Helios 44mm, so in a few minutes you'll know if it's worth it. Let's go! Hey guys, welcome back to Glass Test, where we review different modern and vintage lenses. And I'm really excited about this one because this one got me into vintage lenses. I saw this Helios lens popping up everywhere. Everyone was like saying that it's one of the best vintage lenses ever. I have to say, because the lens is quite famous, you will see the price is quite a little bit more pricey than other vintage lenses. And when you buy it, also make sure you buy the right one, because there's so many different versions and some versions are not as good as the others. The first mistake I made is to ignore the symbol on a lens like this one. The lens with this logo is the better one, but you also have like this logo, and this logo can also be good, but it's usually a little bit worse than this brand. Obviously this is a Cinemod version, which means they made some changes to the lens to make it better for video. And as a photographer, that sounded really interesting to me, and it's actually my first Cinemod lens I ever bought. So it was really interesting to test this lens out. Like you can see, it has this ring that makes it easier to like focus. But of course, if you buy a normal version, the ring won't be there and it might be a little different lens. And I definitely will buy like a normal vintage lens in the future, because one mistake I made is that the iconic one is the 44-2 and this is just 44. And I will show you later if we have the iconic swirly bokeh. But yes, I won't spoil anything yet. For that, we need to wait a little bit longer. And the aperture can go as wide as 2, which is quite decent, so that is really exciting. So let's talk about my experience. I'm really surprised with this lens. I had high expectations because it's of course the iconic vintage lens, but I didn't expect it to be this sharp and this cinematic. This lens makes me really excited. I definitely should shoot like a short film on this, which you might see in the future, so if you're interested, make sure to subscribe. So I really like the look and feel of this lens. Also, this ring is amazing to work with, which makes it amazing for video. So yes, I was really surprised with this lens. In the beginning, many of my shots were out of focus, but that's more a skill issue than a lens issue, because yes, I really need to practice my manual focus skills, and I feel like with this lens, it will get a lot of fun to practice this. Another thing I forgot to mention is that it's an anamorphic lens. I'm not sure if I really believe that, but it's supposed to be an anamorphic lens after it's Cinemoded. And yes, for the pictures, I didn't squeeze it, but for the videos, I did. It's really interesting because it's my first anamorphic lens. And yes, don't get me wrong, I don't think it counts 100%. It's nice to have this extra room and to have like this feeling of anamorphic. And let's start talking about the swirly bokeh, because that's what the lens is known for. And the swirly bokeh is more known at the 44-2, and this is just 44. So yes, I'm not sure if I can make the realistic comparison. And what many people don't tell you is that there's a lot more needed to get a swirly bokeh. Like, it's easier on a fill frame and I shoot on a crop. Also, the distance matters a lot. Yeah, there's just a few things to consider before you get a swirly bokeh. I might be delusional, but I did see some swirly bokeh on some shots. For example, in these pictures, if you look a little bit closely, you can see it's being like swirly. But yes, it's definitely something I have to practice more with, but I do see the potential. That's another thing I really enjoy vintage lenses. Many lenses have this quirkiness, and it was just really interesting to see something different for once.
So let's start with some tests. And we first start with a sharpness test. Because it's a vintage lens, it won't be as sharp as model lenses, but I do notice that it gets really sharp when stopped down by 1 or 2 stops. And this is usually recommended with lenses, because wide open is usually not the sharpest point, and you can see that here too. But the bottom part of the image stays on the softer side, which again can be an issue with my lens. And from here, the same corners finally start to look sharper, and overall this lens is really impressive. The next test is manual focus. This lens is Cinemoded, so obviously there's a good focus ring. I didn't face any problems with focusing, and the ring is quite smooth. This lens is probably really good for focus pulling. When we speak about chromatic aberration, I was quite surprised because I don't see a lot. Like, even in this shot where I film like against the sun, you don't really see a lot. That's really nice. And speaking about sunlight, let's go to flare ghosting. And also here I shoot against the sun, and what I noticed that you will see flare. Depending how you use the flare, it can be really beautiful or it can be really harsh, like the first clip. The next is bokeh. The Helios is known for its swirly bokeh, but usually you need to full frame for this to see, and also an other model, because like I mentioned before, the 4040M, but the 4042M is the one that's known for the swirly bokeh. But I have to say that I do like the bokeh. It looks really creamy and it still looks really artistic.
So this lens is definitely something if you're into vintage lenses. I feel like when you collect vintage lenses, you need this one in your gear. Again, like I said in the beginning, when you buy one, make sure you buy the right ones. But there are many tutorials and videos about how to buy the right Helios 44. So I recommend to check those out. I definitely got to keep my eye open for another lens. I do think some of them are quite pricey because I know they're popular, but I will manifest it. I know I can do this. If you would like to see more of me, you can follow me on Instagram or here on YouTube. And speaking about YouTube, they might think you might like this video over here. So I hope to see you over there. Bye bye!